narcissism is everywhere. Every time I pull up my feed, every time I pull up something online, every time I scroll through social media, there is something about a narcissist on there. I don't know if I need to just clear my algorithms or if it's just a popular topic of the day. I don't know what it is. But we've got therapists and pseudotherapists talking about narcissistic personality traits, how to point them out, how to recognize their manipulation tactics, how to protect yourself from these tactics. We've got posts and memes about narcissistic trauma and how that relates to you and what you can do about it. And then on the other side of the coin, we have empaths and super empaths and destroying the narcissist and yada, yada, yada. It's a whole mess. It seems like there is nothing but narcissistic content out there, and it has been driving me nuts. It seems like it's been so popular to just throw around the word narcissist lately. And it seems like if somebody gets just a little bit offended online, they want to throw out the word narcissist. You're a narcissist this, you're a narcissist that. And just like a lot of other buzzwords in today's society, I think that it is largely misused, overused, and it's beginning to lose its meaning a little bit. However, could there be some merit to it? Is there a reason why we're seeing so much narcissistic content or content relating to narcissists online? I think there might be a little bit of merit to it. Dr. Ramani, she posts a lot of things about narcissists online. She's a specialist in the field, and she states that social media is basically a playground for narcissists. I mean, if you think about it, let's say we got posting the pictures, we've got getting likes and responses to your videos, and the opportunity to share every little detail about your life in order to get attention. Social media is just a grounds or a never-ending supply for narcissists. So it makes sense why we see it more and more online. However, I'm starting to see it more and more in day life too. And I'm thinking that social media and online interactions are actually starting to train people in real life how to act more narcissistic. It's not just the posting the pictures and the sharing your entire life online that is just contributing to these factors. I think there's a large amount of sensitization that comes along with being chronically online. If you are exposed to a large amount of people, a lot of negative comments, a lot of emotionally charged videos, you know, those videos where people are crying out all the time or just coming up with stories. I know that not half of the stories online are true. A lot of people are coming up or exaggerating facts in order to get sympathy from people. And when you see that a lot of times, then that's going to garner a sense of social distancing and desensitization from it, because after a while you're like, oh, I'm so tired of hearing it. And after a while, if you're chronically online, of course, when you see something in real life, does that translate to real life instances where someone is overly emotional and you just gray wall it? You're like, I don't care. In other words, social media is training us to be less empathetic nowadays. And I think that it could be a really dangerous thing to have a society where your empathy or your personalities are becoming less and less empathetic as time goes on, because social media is training your brain to be less empathetic. And now it's even worse because a lot of social media is now being monetized. So you're getting a reward to being out there and more narcissistic. And that's not saying that everybody is. Not everybody that is online and not everybody that is going out for attention is narcissistic, no. But there is a large portion. There is a large portion because narcissists love attention. So if you love attention and you get money for it, that sounds like the perfect scenario. But what can we do about it? What can we do about it? What is, I mean, if we know that social media is having a negative impact on society, then what else can we do about it? Well, I have a hypothesis. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a professional of any sort, but I've been thinking about this a lot. And I honestly think that reading books, surprise, surprise, reading books has contributed to our society having a lower level of empathy. And the reason why is because if you think about it, when you read a book, and I'm not talking about self-help books or historical documents or anything like that. No, I'm talking about novels. I'm talking about storylines. These are stories where people are, you're getting to look through the eyes of the main character. Now, I believe that whenever you read a book, because you're having to go into that main character and you're having to visualize, as you're reading the novel, you're having to visualize everything that character is seeing, feeling, thinking, everything that they're going through. You're having to visually put it in your mind. You're having to create a movie in your mind when you read the book. And so you're getting a first person perspective in a lot of novels. You may be going through the narrator's point of view. It just depends on the book. But you're literally placing yourself in someone else's shoes. And that is a huge key point in empathy, is being able to place yourself in someone else's shoes, so that way you can see and feel, you can get a grasp of what they're going through. And with social media, there's always the screen involved. There's always a level of distance. And even with movies, people can have an emotional attachment to a character. They can have an emotional attachment to a storyline and get emotionally upset. Like if a character dies off, or if a season ends, people get really distraught and upset. But you have to realize that they're still not looking through that first person point of view. They're still looking at it from a third person perspective. And there's still that distance between the screen. So you're not getting as close to the character as you would as if you were reading a book. And nowadays, more and more schools are going more towards online reading and visual storylines. And I think that is detrimental to our society. I mean, we've already got social media that is giving perks to having narcissistic traits, because those are more rewarded in those fields. And we are training a younger generation to become less and less empathetic. And I think it starts with the reading books, because reading a book trains your mind on how to enter into another character's perspective, enter into another person's perspective. Not only that, but even having just a physical book. As you go through the book and you go through several chapters, you can visually see, oh, I'm almost halfway there, or oh, the story's almost ending. Well, look, I've sat here for X amount of time and I've read this much. You don't get that. You don't get that instant reward of visually seeing your progression through a storyline when you're looking at something on a screen. And I really do think that the lack of reading is teaching our brains it's not teaching our brains anything, really. I think it's a lack of teaching. I think reading books and reading novels and stories are a great way to train our minds how to be more empathetic. And without that, your mind is just going to just be used to that third person perspective and that level of distance. So yes, narcissism is everywhere, and we're probably going to be even more sick and tired of seeing more and more content related to that, because unfortunately, I think that everything is kind of going in that direction. Everything is going to train our minds to be less empathetic towards each other and less connectivity. But if you want to fight against this, try to read a book. Try to read several books. Try to get your friends to read several books. Try to get your younger children to read more novels, more books, more stories. And maybe, hopefully, it'll help. I've heard that Australia has banned social media from 16 and under. That might be a contributing, that might be a help. That might be a help to go against the negative behaviors that we've been seeing. And that might be what's contributing to some of the things that we've been seeing with the younger generations. The lack of interest, the lack of social connectivity. There's got to be a way to fight against it, because I am so sick and tired of seeing narcissism everywhere. And anybody who is an empath, needs to step up your game and get out there. But anyway, I'm so sick of hearing about narcissism, and I'm so sick of seeing it online, but I have a feeling that we're going to be seeing a lot more of it in the next coming years. Myself, I'm going to make a goal of reading at least one book a month to try to go against that, because I'm even seeing in my own life where I'm becoming more and more desensitized toward people and emotions and just extreme behaviors, just extremely charged emotions. It's just because I see so much of it, I don't tend to react to it the same way that I used to. And because I've noticed that in myself, it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary to see myself even distancing from other people. So I'm going to try it. It'll be like a little experiment to see if, reading books and getting out of this world and being able to pull myself into a character is going to help, and see if it has any kind of effect. My favorite types of books are crime novels and dystopian futuristic novels. Let me know what kind of novels you like to read in the comments below. And if you've noticed that there has been an increase in narcissism talk and narcissistic content, are you sick of seeing it? Anyway, let me know in the comments below. Okay, love you, bye.